and it must always hunt. Other predators may join the great hunt, but if they refuse, they are prey. Worthy prey, perhaps, but still prey. There are no old Grik besides the Hege. When they slow down, they become prey and are killed by their young. And so it had ever been. Because of the blessed abundance of prey upon the world, there had also been an exciting variety of predators. Some were merely animals, but others were quite cunning. Grik history was a comforting series of slowly escalating playful wars or hunts between them and other predators that refused to join them. Other predators, even other Grik, were by far the most satisfying prey. Over time, worthy prey became scarce, and warfare among the frustrated Grik reached disastrous levels. In times such as those, non-Grik predators often became worthy prey whether they wanted to or not. Quite regrettable, of course, but family comes first. And so, ages ago, a very wise celestial mother established the tradition of the patient hunt. By this method, it took considerable time to hunt a species of worthy prey to extinction, so the Grik wouldn't wipe them out too fast and turn on themselves again. When population and instinctual pressures finally grew too extreme, the Grand Swarm was created. Warriors from every region of the empire mobilized to mount a final campaign to eradicate the target-worthy prey at last. This not only expanded the empire, but often brought them in contact with new worthy prey, and the cycle recommenced. For thousands of years, this custom worked extremely well. Wars still raged between the Celestial Mother's various possessions, but they were usually friendly affairs, often arranged by the regent consorts so their Ool could enjoy themselves. No such entertainment was currently underway, however. Within the last Ool generation or so, the prey that got away had been rediscovered. The histories referred to them simply as the tree prey, because instead of fighting like worthy prey, they climbed trees to escape slaughter. They were cowards and not true predators, so they were viewed with the same derision as common grass-eating prey. They had escaped, however, and that still ruffled Tasalka's tail plumage with the shame of those countless generations past who had let it happen. Now they were found, hiding again, across the bottomless sea. But instead of the stately dance of escalation, there was a mood of urgency to amass the Grand Swarm and finally finish this prey before it fled again. Tasalka was point for that effort. Ceylon was the gathering place for the preparing swarm, and his task was monumental. Theoretically, his duty was primarily organization. The generals in their white ships would plan the hunt itself, but he was regent consort, and certain strategic decisions had been thrust upon him. A horn thrummed, echoing dully in the chamber. A tall, scarred, massively muscled Hege general approached from the gloom and sprawled upon the triangular platform at his feet. Tasalka heard the scrape of armor and clatter of weapons, and for an instant his pulse quickened. Sometimes he wished he'd been a general. They could still sometimes play, but they couldn't lose themselves in battle, and that took great discipline. He breathed. "Rise, General Eshk," he said, hissing a pleasant greeting. Eshk stood and straightened his short cape. It was the bright red of the Celestial Mother's own house. "The giver of life sends her greetings to you, Regent Tasalka, her favorite and most noble consort." Tasalka bowed, acknowledging the compliment. He didn't let it go to his head, though. Eshk probably said that to all the regents. Eshk was probably the greatest living general. A nestmate of the current Celestial Mother, and probably royal consort as well, he had her ear and favor. He would command the Grand Swarm when it sailed, and was subordinate only to the regents and the Celestial Mother herself. Tasalka didn't want Eshk to see him as a fool. "She is ever in my thoughts."